You can. You don't have to.
I'll just say.
My name is.
Okay, my name's Rachel.
And my name is Ella.
So we're here in the community garden where we are working with the compost pile. We are composting all the food scraps from the dormitories here on the college campus. Compost acts as a fertilizer. So in conventional agriculture, most of the time farmers are putting purely nitrogen on the fields. And so when that's the only thing that plants are able to eat, it's like a very little diet. It's as if we were just being fed liver. And so when you put compost, it's like the plants have an all-you-can-eat buffet, and they're much happier and much healthier, and the soil is much healthier. And when soil is healthy, it leads to healthy plants. We compost for many reasons. So nearly half of the food that America produces is thrown into the landfill. And landfills are the second major cause of human-caused greenhouse gas emissions, and food is the number one item in landfills. So when you put food in landfills, it creates methane, which is a greenhouse gas that is 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. So it's really dangerous for the climate, especially in this time of climate crisis.
I think a challenge with composting is that it's not pleasant all the time, in that it creates odor, and compost is literally the things that you no longer want to eat or to use personally. So, and I think as a part of our culture is kind of like we've been able to kind of distance ourselves from all of those things that we don't want, and so I think it's like retraining the way that we live to include composting. Because it doesn't involve so much more work.
Yeah, I think infrastructure can be an issue also, especially in more urban settings, that you can't have this backyard compost system. But there are systems in place, like in Portland, Maine, they do curbside compost where you can put out your bucket of compost and they'll come pick it up and bring it to a compost facility, and then if you want, you can get compost in return. So I think those are creative, innovative ideas that we need to be thinking about, and not just think of it as an impossible thing because we're in an urban setting.
It is also taking the nutrients from the field that it was grown in and then being consumed, and if you're throwing it into a dumpster, or which would then go into a landfill or is incinerated, it's taking away that nutrients and taking it off of the soil, which is going to be continued to be used for farming. So by composting and then putting that back onto the fields, you're putting that nutrients back into the place that you're going to continue to farm on.
Creating a whole cycle.
And it's kind of creating a closed loop cycle where the nutrients is going back in. And so I think I compost because I think it is important, because I think it's a necessary part of being human. We're all producing these discarded resources, and composting is one way of managing those discarded resources in a way that isn't harming the planet.